made in your heart grew just to die. And now your damaged goods, damaged should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof, look at you, what happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay, baby? Everyone gets hurt, that's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby, baby, don't cry no more. Just let her walk out your door. Baby, don't cry no more. Mama's here. I wrote a lullaby for wasted loving all the nights I spent wondering why we couldn't be. Ooh. And now that you're alone, you're on my phone, running game. But maybe, baby, when it settles in that you're to blame, we could move on, pick up where we went wrong, baby. Everyone gets hurt, that's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby,
oh yeah, that sounds good.
No more, just let her walk out your door.
It's Sean G, baby.
All the plans you made in your heart grew just to die. And now your damaged goods, damaged should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof, look at you, what happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay, baby? Everyone gets hurt, that's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby, baby, don't cry no more. Just let her walk out your door. Baby, don't cry no more. Mama's here. I wrote a lullaby for wasted loving all the nights Cause I've been wondering why we couldn't be. Ooh. And now that you're alone, you're on my phone, running game. But maybe, baby, when it settles in that you're to blame, we could move on, pick up where we went wrong, baby. Everyone gets hurt. That's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby, baby, don't cry no more. Just let her walk out your door. Baby, don't cry no more. Mama's here, 'cause maybe in time you'll see. Maybe I can be all you need. Yeah, your love on me. Mama's here. Oh, I wrote a lullaby for you.
Peace and love to the family. It is the main office. Your boy Sean G, the beautiful, magnificent, wonderful Judea is in the building.
Hey.
How are y'all doing tonight on a Tuesday night? Go ahead and share the video. Smash that love button when you come up in the building. Let's get a couple shares out here. I see we have George in the building. Peace and love to my sister Levon in the building tonight. Shout out to Mary on the check-in. Renee, how you doing tonight? All right. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. It is a Tuesday, a wonderful, magnificent Tuesday night. And we are in here. Let's get a couple shares out here. We want you guys to get a little bit comfortable.
Yes.
As we play a couple songs before we get into the topic tonight. And one of the questions we want to ask in the building, if you had a versus between Sade and Anita Baker, who would be your pick?
Wow. Respect.
I think that'd be something epic.
Very.
All right. Just want to know what you guys think in the building tonight. Also, we're going to be talking about the Gabby Petito story tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got a lot of questions to ask in the building. Main office, your boy Sean G, the beautiful Judea. Go ahead and get yourselves comfortable, family.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's about me and you, baby. Meet me by the fireplace, where it's warm and cozy. Bring some glasses and a Chardonnay. Let me wrap you with this lotion. Tonight I just wanna be focused on you while you're focused on me, baby. No FB, no IG, just move R&B, Tyrese, let me be sweet lady. Come a little bit closer, ready for my emotions. I wanna fit tight in your cuff like a gun in a holster. Let's focus on love. Let's focus on love. Let's focus on love. Love, love, love. Let the fireplace burn. Let's focus on love. Let's focus on love. Let's focus on love, baby. Yeah. Let the fireplace burn. Oh. Let's focus on love. Let's focus on love. Let's focus nobody's perfect. Something told me you were worth it, so I changed my situation. I ignored the complications. I've been counting the hours till my hands could be around yours, and now here we are. Boy, I tried for you, crossed the sky for you, gave you everything I've got. Tell me, how could you break this heart that you fought so hard for from the start? I guess it's obvious you're oblivious, and I fell for who you are. So kiss me goodnight, hold me one last time as we lie here in the dark. Oh, the way you got me hurting. Oh no, made me feel like I was worthless. Cause baby, it's a long way home. How can you just let us go? Now you're saying that it's over, but your eyes are so unsure. And baby, it's a long way home. Don't make me spend tonight alone. In the morning I'll be gone, but babe, I got a long way home. A long way home. Way home. And I can't stand to see you crying, even though you got me dying. As you say this ain't goodbye, how one day you could be mine again. But boy, we know it's over, and I can't keep up the show no more. So I guess I gotta let you go. No, I won't fight with you like you want me to. I can't make you try for us, but boy, I still want you. You don't want me to, even though all hope is lost. I guess it's obvious you're oblivious, and I handed you my heart. So kiss me goodnight, hold me one last time as we lie here in the dark. Oh, the way you got me hurting. Oh no, I don't know if this is worth it. Cause baby, it's a long way home. How can you just let us go? Now you're saying that it's over, but your eyes are so unsure. Then baby, it's a long way home. Don't make me spend tonight alone. In the morning I'll be gone, but babe, I got a long way home. A long way home. Way home.
Yep. Main office. Boy, Sean G, the beautiful Judea. Y'all in the building Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy Sean G, the beautiful Judea. This is the main office. Peace and love to the family on the check-in. Peace and love to my brother Kev Smith on the check-in. What's going on, my guy? All right. Shout out to your girl Julie. Is Julie in the building tonight? I see somebody said something about she's talking about you. Okay. Peace and love to everybody on the check-in. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. The beautiful Judea's in the building. Looking also lovely.
Thank you, honey.
And yeah, it is a Tuesday night. We are in here.
Yes.
I'm happy to see the family in the building. You guys are rocking and rolling in the comment section tonight. And I think that's a lovely thing. Phone lines will be open all night tonight, 347-595-0279. And I think one of the questions we want to ask in the building tonight is, if it was a versus today, who would you pick between Anita Baker and your girl Sade? Who would have more hits? Who, in your opinion, would have a lot more hits? And I think that would be an amazing versus. For those of you out there who are not familiar with the verses, Versus is a celebrity. We talking about superstar battle between celebrities, artists. Just the other day we had, so many. You had the Temptations. Excuse me. You had what's the group called? The Osley Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Going up against Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, that was epic.
That was very epic.
Yes.
Also, there's a lot of hip hop groups out there. One of the groups was the Locks against Dipset. It was a New York City kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a slaughter. I'm not gonna say too much.
And the list just goes on and on with these verses. They're really kind of getting started.
Yes.
And I'm looking for that Mary J. Blige and Faith verses. That is gonna be something. So
where Mary went over the years non-stop, honey. I mean,
I don't know.
We got to get somebody who started with her and that's still going.
I would say this.
But I know Faith is she's really good. But
when you start talking about verses, you have to say to yourself, you want to put the artist, because we always talk about this. There's always two to everything. If you got the sun, you got the moon.
Yes.
If you got Mercedes, you got a Benz. If you have night, you have day. So there's always two reigning champions doing the same thing at the same time.
Right.
And I think with Mary J. Blige, I think her number one competitor was always Faith. Y'all drop a comment below in the building if you think that's correct. But I wanted to get a little bit, mix it up just a little bit and kind of give you, something different. Because Anita Baker is one of my favorite artists. And who would you put up with Anita Baker? I don't know. And, and that question is a very difficult question. How are you going to size her up with an artist that can really bang with her with the contemporary style, the smooth, jazzy?
I think the Sade voice, I think Sade would be a good matchup with Anita.
Sure. And that's what I think as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So we'd like to know what you guys think in the building tonight. It is the main office. Your boy Sean G, the beautiful Judea, Tuesday night. And the time is 9:21 Eastern time. Do you know where your children are? I think we like to ask the question in the building tonight. And also, one of our main topics tonight in the building is very interesting story dropped, ladies and gentlemen, about the young lady Gabby Petito from out of New York City, and her fiance Brian Laundrie. I don't know if you guys are following this story. Very disturbing story. We're going to go over the timeline and kind of go down the line of what's going on with this story right here tonight. There's a lot of kinks and a lot of things that needs to be unraveled and I guess unpacked with this story. And we also want to send our condolences out to the Petito family, because just the other day, after a long search of a missing report, Gabby was found dead in a rural area out in Wyoming. So we want to get to this story tonight, and I think that's something that for those out there who are not familiar with this case, with this story, you guys are going to be blown away because there's a lot to talk about. So the beautiful Judea's in here. I see you got purple going on with the shimmery and the shinery. Purple on purple with the glow and the feng shui.
Well, thank you, honey. Yes, I do. I'm purplish.
Purplish.
Yes, I'm feeling purplish.
So what we got going on here? I see we have the shine on the earrings and the shine on the shirt, and with the accessories, everything is shining. So we got the white and the silver with a little bit of purple.
Yes.
What we got going on here tonight?
I'm feeling royal tonight. So I had to put the purple. I had to put the little glittery on, the little, the diamonds.
Okay.
And have the little shine going. I felt like being cute.
Okay. Well, you know, I always say you never had an unattractive day in your life.
Oh, thank you, honey.
You're doing your thing. Peace and love to Kasha in the building. Hey, who we got in the building tonight? Get and smash that love button. And shout out to Renee, who said Anita Baker, hands down.
Yes.
Let's go back to some of the comments in the building tonight. There's a versus battle on November 24th. Between Yo Gotti and T.I. Yeah, now you know the South got to get into it. That's going to be epic. We're looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Kasha, who said Mary is whack.
I know I had to laugh at that one.
Oh, man.
Kasha, Mary got me through some tough times, girl.
Let me say this. I was listening to Mary J. Blige all day today. Well, actually tonight in the evening. Kind of got me in my vibe tonight, to be honest with you. But Mary is whack. All right? That, you know,
your opinion counts.
Yeah, and listen, it is the main office. Everyone opinion matters.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen in
Talk
the building.
to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen in the building tonight, get and share this video. All right, let's get a couple of folk up in here tonight as we touch this story. The Judea letter is coming up in a few seconds. Let's share it up, family. As we get ready to bring in the Judea letter. I like this track right here. Hey, you know what? Let's play the record before we get into this mix. You guys are enjoying yourselves tonight? I see some comments in the building if you are enjoying yourself so far. That's right.
It's Sean G, baby.
Tuesday night. I want you guys to get used to this right here. It's called All Because of You by none other than your boy Victor Lumberg. Brand new music. Play it here first, y'all. Let's go.
I'm not sure I understand it, but everything seems brighter now than before. I don't know why I feel this way, but every time I hear your name, all my worries disappear, yeah. It's all because of you. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true, yeah. It's all because of you. Because of you. And I don't fall in love so easily, 'cause I don't wear my heart up on my sleeve. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but every time I hear your name, my worries disappear. It's all because of you, yeah. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true, yes you do. It's all because of you.
Main office, your boy Sean G, the beautiful Judea. And you know that's All Because of You by your boy Victor Lumberg. You know, we get familiar with some new music around here tonight. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the story tonight because I think this story is very disturbing and touching, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Peace and love to Jameson. Jameson over there, attorney over there in the YouTube family. Peace and love to the family on YouTube checking in right now. And 347-595-0279. If you'd like to call up right now and give your perspective on this story here. And the Judea letter is coming up. Let's get the Judea letter on here before we get started with this story. We want to say peace and love to everybody tuned in tonight.
Peace and love, everyone.
Thank everybody. What you got?
So I'm bringing you guys a letter. It's an open letter to missing people or a missing person. And here we go. I wonder where you are right now, what you are doing with your day, how you are feeling about tomorrow. I wonder if you are at peace with yourself or if you find yourself in turmoil and unhappy with life. I wonder if you have somewhere to be, someone to be with, and hope for a future. I hope that as you read or hear this letter, you will have a sense of belonging, and a sense of being understood, a sense of friendship, a sense of promise of new beginnings. I hope that you are feeling safe and aware that you have choices. You always have choices. I'm thinking of you today because today marks 4 years since I too became lost. 4 years since I walked out of my home unsure of the future, too afraid to look backwards, too afraid to look forwards. All of our stories are different, all of our hurts unique to us, but we share one common thing. We are all people who, for whatever reason, have struggled or are struggling with our circumstances. The fear of staying, the fear of going, the fear of returning. My friend, you are not alone. You cannot be a missing person unless somebody misses you. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are precious. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be safe. And I shall be thinking of you.
Wow.
Yes. So, you guys, this is a letter to people who are missing out there to let them know that, you are somebody do care about you or somebody, have concerns with your whereabouts. Even if you don't think people care. Reach out to someone.
Well, I mean, I think, that's a touchy thing right there.
Very touchy. And I chose that, honey. I'm sorry. I chose that because of the topic that we are going to be touching on.
No, and I get it because, just imagine. I mean, you can't imagine. I mean, think about someone who actually is in that moment.
Right.
They may be walking. They may just be doing something regular that they do every day. And, the next minute they're in a van
or
in the backseat of a car are just gone. That has to be a surreal feeling. I don't think, you would have to literally talk to someone who actually has went through that.
Right.
Who experienced that or who is experiencing that to kind of get an understanding. That is your worst nightmare. And that brings us into the story tonight of a young couple who was traveling across the country in their little white van. Sources say that they was traveling all over the country. The young lady, Gabby Petito, was doing what we called a blog.
Yes.
Growing her YouTube channel, and I guess her Instagram or maybe her TikTok. And, they was out on the road. Sources say it was for 4 years. I don't know if that's the case, but for a while, maybe 4 months or something like that. And throughout this trip or this journey, they was having, violent arguments. Mid-August, they were pulled over by police. The whole encounter was recorded on a body cam released to the public after she was reported missing. The fiance, Brian, flew home to Northport, Florida on the 17th after the altercation. Reportedly, Gabby packed up her belongings and things like that in her parents at her parents' house at a storage or something like that, and then they moved it out of the storage, depending on who you ask. So this story right here turned from a couple traveling supposedly on a fun trip to do something that was very positive to turn into the young lady missing. In just a couple of days, we find out that the young woman is now dead. The remains of her body is found in Wyoming. All right, there's a big, I guess, manhunt for the fiance, and they calling him a person of interest at this point. And I mean, there's just so many layers to the story. 347-595-0279. We do also have the timeline on of this story and how it went.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fiance, whose name is Brian Laundrie, flew home to Northport, Florida on the 17th after the altercation was reported. While he was in Florida, he stayed in a hotel. I guess he went back to the Salt Lake City area. I mean, we talking about bouncing back and forth to different places in a short period of time. If you're familiar with the story, we'd like to hear what you think and your thoughts. 347-595-0279. Peace and love to Jamison, who said that he is hearing that there's some new attorney on the case right now. Peace and love to Alexander on the check-in. He said Brian Laundrie is a murderer. So, honey, I want to know, what do you think and what are your thoughts here in regards to this whole thing? I mean, we sat and watched this whole thing play out. We didn't want to just jump into it because it was just so much coming from so many different angles, from so many different sources. And I think, once we found out that she was missing, and then we found out that the body parts or the remains of this body was found, we said, well, wait a minute here. Where is he? And next thing you know, we find out that he's missing, or I guess the family said that he's missing, but people and sources say, no, he's not missing. He's running. He's on hiding because of what's happening. So what are your thoughts? Where do you want to jump in? I mean, there's just so many different areas right here.
This case, I've been watching this case since I think around the beginning of September when it surfaced, and the young lady was missing. And my thoughts on it is I've tried to dissect this whole situation with her and him, traveling across the country and vlogging, which was very interesting, to the part, like you said, where, the officers pulled them over, but then, they actually, matter of fact, they, a person called in to the police as they were traveling through Utah, Moab, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
And they reported that this young man was actually physically assaulting, well,
that was one of the callers. So it seemed like they are traveling, they're moving around. And once they actually made contact with police, and this story kind of broke open to where there was some type of, contact with the police, and it became a problem. Witnesses started to pop up. There were first witness. Well, there was the initial witness who got the police on a trail in the first place. I wish we could play the video, but, because we are broadcasting here on Facebook, I do not want to play the video. Simply because we don't want them to cut this video off. However, I do have some audio, but just to kind of give you guys a sequence of events. The first initial report happened after the police officers pulled them over and started to ask questions on what was going on with them. And then you start hearing more and more reports come out. A little bit later in the show, in a few minutes, we're going to play a clip from a young lady who's seen this couple. Now, here's the timeline of some of the things that's been going on. It was confirmed of a sighting of Gabby and her fiance in a little white van in Yellowstone. After several days of no contact, Gabby moms received a text message or phone saying in a little service she's in what they said they was in Yosemite, not Yellowstone. But her moms had reason to believe that the text message was not sent from her. It was sent from somebody else, and they didn't elaborate on why. And so we started to talk about that part, and we said to ourselves, well, what do you mean? And I think something happened to where it was the grandfather or the father, and in the text message it says something about Stan. Is that what you remember?
Yes, but I think you should have took it to the beginning so people
let's
can
go. Come on.
Get a clearer understanding of
Take the wheel.
What's really going on.
Okay.
So, of course, at the beginning of all of this, you got, like you said, Gabby Petito, and what's his name?
Brian
Laundrie.
Right.
Okay. You got Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, a young couple around 22 and 23 years old, traveling to go, across the world to different national parks and stuff, and vlog and, do all types of things with entertaining, the public about, what they have going on, which is very interesting. Then during the course of their traveling, I guess there were some issues there.
I guess some anxiety issues. We spending too much time, and it was some sources were saying that there was some jealousy in the mix.
Yeah,
where the boyfriend felt like, he's a little jealous because she's out there, and I guess people were following they trip, and I don't know. He started to get a little angry about some things.
I don't know. I can't say exactly what he was jealous of, but it just seems like he tried to downplay her wanting to vlog.
Right.
He didn't like the fact that that's something that she really wanted to do, and she was very passionate about it.
Right.
And he wasn't as passionate as her. So it could have been some jealousy tendencies there. Anyways. So, we get down to, let's fast forward to August, because this is when things start taking a turn.
Start spiraling out of control.
For the couple in August of this year. So around August the 16th, around approximately the 16th or the 17th, the police, of course, was called and informed that they seen this gentleman, who had a white van, attacking and slapping
this young lady.
And he locked her out of the van,
right?
And he didn't want her to get in, and this is all because of she says she has an OCD issue, and with them traveling, dirt gets in from shoes and things like that, and he obviously got in the van with dirty shoes on, and she flipped out on him or whatever, and he was, I guess, trying to calm her down, or I don't know, and him having anxiety, they're going back and forth.
Right.
Okay. So they continue to go on after all of this has happened. They continue on their trip, and then the next day, the Moab police department, sheriff's department, and the National Forest police department, I'm assuming, they pulled them over, and tried to kind of get an idea of what was going on with them after they had received a call.
Yeah, and again, peace and love to George Green, who said when he was seen by police slapping her, he should have been arrested the first time. But I don't think there was any police.
The police didn't see him slapping her. This was a bystander that seen them, and when they were at an actual restaurant, they were parked. And a bystander seen him hitting her, and they were going along a sidewalk, and I guess they came back, but they were tussling with each other, and they got in the vehicle and they, pulled off and left. But no, the police didn't see that. However, when they were stopped by the police, and they were asked to come out of the vehicle, well, the young lady, she was asked to come out of the vehicle first, and they spoke to her, and then they pulled the young man out of the vehicle and they spoke to him, and she was kind of I can't put it into words. I think she was just out of it.
I mean, she was a little nervous.
She was nervous. She was crying. She wasn't, you could tell that she wasn't herself. She was scared. And
so let's slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. She was quiet. She was a little scared. And as we started to talk about this, we felt like, okay, what's going on here? And I think we were a little bit early. All right. Peace and love to Girlene.
Yeah.
On the check-in. And we were a little bit early in what we think, but we really had to sit back and just take our time to really dissect this story on what was really going on. And there was a lot of telltale signs, a lot of red flags on this stop. If you paid attention to a lot of the things that were said. And one of the things that we went back and forth about was the fact that, what was she hiding or what was they hiding?
During the conversation with the police officer.
Yeah, and also before they was pulled over, we felt like, I mean, I know you did, that, he possibly was saying things to her like, listen, we're being pulled over. I need you to say that you are OCD and this is that and the third, so you can have a story to tell them. I didn't believe that. I'm saying, well, there's no way you can come up with a story that fast.
Yes, when
pulled over.
Right, you can. Like
Yeah.
when you have, domestic violence victims, some women, some men, they tend to take ownership of the problem, even when sometimes they're not the problem, just to save face and to save the significant other if the police are involved from, going to jail or pretty much catching a charge. So in this case, I think that the way that whole police scene played out,
well, you mean not the scene, but the fact that when they had the contact with the police.
When they had the contact with the police and she was still alive, I feel that she may have been protecting him in a way,
right, so
that he wouldn't go to jail. Because I listened at everything that she said to the police officer, and some things just really caught me and blew me away. Like with her telling the officer that she was the one who was, more aggressive. She was hitting him when she seen the police officer behind her. But then also what caught my attention was she was telling the police officer that they had been fighting.
Well, not physically fighting, but they've been arguing or fighting. She did use the word fighting.
She did use the word fighting when she was in the van before they pulled her out, and she was crying and things like that. And then when she got out, she was shook up and she was telling the police officer that he did not like her vlogging, and she was getting agitated and things like that. He was aggravating her,
right? But at that point, they're trying to figure out what's going on between these two.
He let her tell her story, what was going on. He's like, what's going on? He gave her pretty much the will to explain to them what's going on from her point of view. And of course she was shooken up as she was talking to them, as any young person probably would be when they have some type of run into with the police. So
I guess one of the questions we want to ask, and what I was asking you was, you felt like, he came up with a quick story. I was saying, I don't think so. I don't think that he came up with a story that fast. I think that, there was some things going on inside the vehicle. And, one of the things that had happened before the actual police pulled them over was the vehicle hit the curb.
Right.
and it was found from him. He told them that, well, she took the steering wheel at that moment, and that's why we hit up against the curb. And it's kind of crazy. If you actually watch the video, the vehicle is actually not on the curb, it's backed up a little bit, which was kind of, certain different things that happen that kind of make you think to yourself, well, what the hell is going on here?
Well, you can actually see the scuff mark on the curb, and then you can see where they backed up. Yeah.
So the officer who was involved, he's like, okay, let's separate them. Let's find out what's going on. So they get to the nitty gritty of what's happening, and ultimately, they decide, after hearing his side, after hearing her side, they decide to separate the couple for the night. They decide to say, okay, we heard your side, we heard his side, but the officers were taking his side. She said her side, he gave his side. The officers was taking his side simply because they seen a lot of scratches on his face. They seen marks on his fingers and things like that. And it seems like she was the aggressor. And the initial call that came from one of the witnesses were more like, she was the aggressor in the altercation.
Well, no.
The second call, because the second call to actually put the police in Utah on their tail.
Right.
I'm not talking about the first call.
No.
So go ahead.
So no, the young lady, she of course was hitting him while he was driving. I don't know why. I can't say why. We don't know why. Right. We only know what they explained to us. I mean, not to us, but to the police officers in the video. And after, they put her in the back of the car.
Peace and love to Latia. What's up, Tia?
Hey.
Shout out to Mike, who said, I think there was something going on with Brian and the girl, Kaylin, who was later killed after the incident. That's why Gabby was so upset, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yes,
but let's just deal with, because we want to move on just a little bit for those out there, because I'm sure there's so many people. And by the way, smash the love button when you come up in the building, or hit that like button. Just to move on a little bit, y'all. For those of you who know what happened, who've seen the video, who's been following the story, you guys pretty much know what's going on with this. So just to move on a little bit, the officers pretty much took his side, but ultimately they didn't want to press charges. They said, okay, if we press charges, it's not going to be charges, but we're going to do what we call I guess a separation or, order against you to stay away from her. Then you would have to go down to the police station. Now, mind you, they are from Florida. They are driving, they're way away from home. So he said, you know what, I don't want to do that. And, I love her, and this, that, and the third. And they said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to separate you guys for the night, right? You can go in the hotel. We'll put you up in the hotel, and we'll let her drive and go where she want to go, where you want to go. But mind you, she's never driven. She haven't driven the car. He's the one who's doing all the driving.
She was driving, but she just wasn't comfortable
driving. Maybe not on the highway
without him.
I don't like driving on the highway with all the 18-wheelers and all that kind of stuff myself as a man. So anyway, so he was doing all the driving. So they separated them overnight. So now they get back with each other the next day, or we don't know when it happened. So what happens after this? When they
I think you missed some very important details.
Yeah, but I don't want to beat this horse up too much, because we do want to explain it, but I don't want to be too long-winded with it. I kind of want to just get the gist of that part, because that was a significant thing. What happened with the contact with the police. So I kind of, I think we kind of went over a lot of details there, and let's move on. If you think there's something we missed, go ahead and bring it back to the table.
Well, I do think it's something that we miss with her sitting in the back of the car, and then with him talking to the police officers, and they gave her the keys. He said that he would go somewhere else,
right,
and stay in the hotel while she go, and stay in the car, so that way she wouldn't go to jail.
Mhm.
Now, my thing is upon them getting ready to leave and her leaving, the officers asked each one of them, is there anything that they would want to say to each other before they go through them?
Mhm.
And of course, she said that she loved him, and
He said he loved her.
he said he loved her, but he told the officers that he didn't want her to text him.
Okay. So you thought that was very significant?
I thought that was because, like, you were riding with a 22-year-old.
Okay.
And I can understand the officer's point of view on this
right.
too, where they said y'all
no contact for the night.
No contact for the night. No, you guys don't need to see each other.
Don't reach out to him. Just let the night pass, and then
right.
Okay.
But for him to just blatantly say, let her know, don't text message me or whatever. That really struck me the wrong way, due to the fact that you're traveling with her and she's with you. You guys are all you have.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you tell the officer to tell her something like that?
Well, I think.
I
think we read into that a little bit.
No, I feel like
and look, if you felt different, let it all hang out.
I felt different about that, because that just kind of put me in a mind frame like he's like,
yes,
I don't care at this point.
Yes, I'm glad you said that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of brushes him away from her in some sense. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at the whole story and I go back and I listen at things like that, and I catch all the little intricate details of things, it make me wonder what he's capable of doing. So that's why I said that point right there is kind of important to me, that he would say something like that.
That stood out to you,
especially since they're out in the middle of nowhere together, and then they have to be separated in order for her not to go to jail.
And I thought that was weird too. A lot of people could say, well, the police officers dropped the ball on that, and maybe not. 347-595-0279. If you have any input in the area of, do you think the police officers that were involved in the contact with these two did the right thing, or do you feel like they could have actually they could have done something else that where this whole thing could have been avoided? And so I want to ask that question in the building tonight. And also, what are your thoughts? Because I guess they exhausted all options. They gave them options.
They did give them options, which, I can applaud them on that, because you have to understand that these kids are so far away from each other, but at the same time, they are in a very bad situation. The officers just didn't know how bad the situation was.
Right.
Because, they weren't the ones who got that first call that where they were standing outside of the cafe area that they were in when they had the tussle or whatever. I don't know. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? So they possibly couldn't understand exactly what was going on. They can only tell by the body language, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. And then they see two young kids who actually love each other. They're being cooperative.
So they was kind of understanding, like, okay, we get this, right. Because you do remember, I believe one of the park rangers was talking with him while the other police officer was on the side talking to her.
Right.
And he was kind of like, I think it was something in the background. It probably was one of the other guys. Be careful here. Was one of the other guys where they were in the background, and you heard them saying something like, my ex-wife she was off.
Yeah. So, we had our little and he was telling the young lady that, and, right. And that was kind of understanding, but I think that they could have, I don't know. I think they made a good call, but then a bad call at the same time, because had they actually took her to jail and made her stay in jail overnight, then,
would there been a reason for taking her to jail?
But then I have to go back and I have to look at the timeline of when they stopped her or him, both of them, and then the timeline of the last time she spoke to her mom, which was approximately almost 8 or 9 days later. So even if she had went to jail, that still wouldn't have stopped what actually took place on.
But I mean,
even afterwards,
even if they would,
so I can't blame the officers.
Yeah, I think they were fair, and I think all we can ask for is fairness.
Yeah,
in a situation like that, and I think they were very fair. And we, we're not going to get into anything else, but stay specifically on this topic here. But I think they were very fair in the way they handled
they just didn't want to put the kids in jail, seeing that they were so far away.
Yeah.
Put either one of them, her more than likely, because she was more of an aggressor, according to
him,
to herself, because she told them what she had done, and why she done what she done,
and also they saw that he was the one who had the actual marks on his face and all that kind of stuff. They didn't really see any bruises on her. Now you did see something that you felt like they didn't see, and we'd like to know, for some of you guys who actually saw the video of that, when she was sitting in the back seat, there were some grab marks on her arm.
Yes, like when she was sitting in the back seat, I noticed that on her arm she had like fingerprints. It was like a set of fingerprints that actually held her arm, like she was grabbed, which he did say, and she did say that he grabbed her, which he also grabbed her across the face, which also looked like there was a little mark right here on her face.
Right. She did mention that.
And she mentioned that, but she didn't mention the part about her being, well, she did.
Now, was it she?
But well, it wasn't. I guess they didn't notice it because it wasn't there, like really visible. But I seen
you noticed it. I was looking at the same thing as well. Peace and love to Edwina on the check-in. Let's go back to the comment section real quick as we start to warm up with this topic here. Peace and love to Mike in the building. Also, what's up to George, who said, who made a bad decision? It was a bad decision. And I think that was a question we asked in the building. Do you feel like the police officers were very fair in a dealing in contact with the couple? Were they very fair? That was the question that we asked in the building. All right. Also, do you guys feel like had they did anything different, would that have possibly saved Gabby Petito's life? And I think that's a very important question to ask in the building. Also, peace and love to Mike Shaver, who said the alleged confrontation happened right outside of Moon Shadow, where Kaylin worked. The following day was the last time her and her partner were seen until they were found dead / shot and half dressed a few days later. Now, what he's referring to, I believe there was a couple.
It was a couple that was
two. I think it was two women,
right? It was
in a relationship,
right,
in Utah, who was killed,
right.
And they there's some sources out there saying that
somewhere near the area where they found her, not too far from where they actually found her.
And they're questioning maybe
it was related in some way.
And that's a very interesting perspective right there.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll get into that a little bit as well.
Now I'm gonna have to go and dig a little bit more, Mike, and thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah.
He said it was in the same area. Also, your boy George said, I seen that it was a violent contact. Maybe someone should have been arrested. Yeah, and I could believe that a lot of people will feel the same. I could also imagine people are saying, well, maybe this could have saved her life. I don't think I have seen that yet, but I'm sure that could be some thoughts on some of the people's mind out there. But also, just everybody is jumping out the window saying that he's responsible for everything. And that remains to be seen. So the question we want to ask tonight in the building, also, Mike said he was probably cheating on her. Very strong possibility. Peace and love to Edwina on the check-in. She said, yes, very fair. In hindsight, yes, it would have. Okay. Also, Edwina said, I feel they should have asked more questions. What are your thoughts?
Oh, the officers?
Yes.
Yeah, but the way they were, I think it was almost nonchalant, but still trying to give them a little bit. My thing is I think that the young lady wanted to tell them, but couldn't.
She was afraid to. Now let's deal with that.
Yeah, my thing is she didn't. I feel like she didn't want to be alone. If she would have just came out and said everything that happened,
but she
would have had to travel by herself.
Can I agree to disagree with you?
Go ahead.
And I like to go. Let's have a spawn match with that right there. Let's play catch. And it's all love. But I said that I don't think that's the case. You feel that she was more. He programmed her before the stop.
I feel like he had to hurry up and tell her, listen, if you say something, say this or say that, then I can go to jail and then we won't be with each other. I mean, it could have been said. So let's say this real quick,
right.
you know.
But I don't, and I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't believe that based on.
I don't know. I'm just assuming that's cool. Something that
cool.
could have happened.
Sure. And that's a very strong possibility. I just felt like, that would have been too soon. Anything's possible.
No, because both of them were stuttering.
But
it was like,
again, up until, at that point, to me, a little scuffle in the vehicle. Maybe she's smacking him while he's driving.
Well, that's true. She was. She admitted that.
Maybe he's trying to grab her. They fight. They're a couple. They've been together. They've been traveling on the road for all this time.
She did say he grabbed her. She said he grabbed her face.
Grabbed the face. Like he,
Right. Yeah. So
I, and it's just something that is not, it's not something where it's just outrageous.
Yeah. But she said, she said he grabbed her face just to tell her to calm down. Because she was.
You heard somebody say, well,
right.
Try telling your girlfriend to calm down when she's
mad. It makes matters worse. We heard that. Heard someone say that.
347-595-0279. Phone lines are open right now. We'd like to know what you guys think. And also, peace and love to Edwina. She said, Edwina said it, in most cases, they would have addressed the issue differently. Yes. She was a little frizzy and upset. In most cases, they will separate them. And that's exactly what the officers did. Which was, that's what they they really wasn't there to, put these kids away or just do the worst. Because in the beginning, you did hear it was times where it was like, okay,
well, the kids, they were very,
we're going to do that.
And they were very respectful, very cooperative. So you have to, I think they took a lot of that into consideration.
Here's a question I want to ask in the building tonight. And I'm also asking you, if it was that bad and she felt that she was under so much pressure and, I know they was on a long trip and she relied on him to get her back home. If it was that bad, do you think she would have said something?
Well, typically in a domestic violence situation, I feel like most women, you got some women who would actually speak up and say something if they really feel threatened. And then you got some women who will accept the blame for everything to save the next person from going to jail or something happening to them if the police force was involved.
But I think they both was taken up for each other.
Yeah, because they didn't want to be separated, but it came down to them having to be separated due to him having the marks and things like that on his person. Right. So
yeah, I mean, I as crazy as it sounds, I mean, here's the two people that is together. I mean, we do know, like Mike said, in hindsight, that she said that he was jealous. He said that she was OCD.
And he said it was her van, yeah.
And so we got two different motives there, or two different things that we can look at and say, well, this is probably why this happened, why A happened, and this is why B happened. So there was a conflict going on between them two. There was a struggle going on with them. And let's just take both of those things into consideration and say, okay, he was jealous at her. for doing his show. I mean, doing her show, doing her blog. He also mentioned that, yeah, she's doing a little blog. So he was very dismissive about what she was doing.
That was when they were talking to the police officer.
Right. So he, you know, for the outsiders looking in, he expressed how he felt about what she was doing. She also expressed that she was happy about what she was doing. So, you know, for the outsiders looking in, that gave us insight on, you know, how both parties or both persons looked at whatever it is that was going on, if that's fair to say. That kind of give us an insight of what we think, because we can think anything, but just those little small details kind of paint the picture. Oh, okay.
So the picture being painted is she loves vlogging. She wanted her channel to grow, their channel to grow.
Right.
And that's something that she really wanted to get into, because I mean, and that's probably the whole reason why they were going cross country. Mm-hmm. So they can, you know, take pictures and do different things to show people, hey, this is what the world looks like from our view.
Right.
But he wasn't too fond of the vlogging. He was very jealous of it. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, let's deal with that. Was he, you know, because we don't know what it was. Like, what's the area? We don't know if he
from
was.
Sources, he wasn't, you know, happy about the vlogging and stuff like that.
What is it not to be happy about?
Well, obviously,
I mean, is it a negative thing to vlog or to go on a road trip and record your road trip? You know, and so for me, I would say that's nothing negative. That's not something for someone to be angry about. So I can use that and say to myself, what's the problem with that? There's nothing wrong with that. She's not bothering anyone. They're not bothering anyone. She's going on a road. She wants to vlog. She wants to record everything that she's doing. And it's just something that she's passionate about. So I personally don't see any harm in that. So that kind of.
But then you got to look at his point of view, and he may not be as outgoing or social as she is, and that's probably why he didn't like it. So you really got to take both perspectives into play when you're looking at a situation.
Oh well, we can get into a whole new show
with that
on that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on a little bit. Peace and love to. Let's go back to the comment section. And if you're just coming up in here for the first time, get and smash that love button. Peace to. And love to the folk over there on YouTube tuned in. 347-595-0279. Phone lines is open right now. And we'll get into some other areas here.
Edwina, well, let me say something. Edwina said they left her with him, and they should have they shouldn't have not left her with him when there are physical marks on either party. Actually, sis, they actually separated them for the night, and they were able to get back together after that night.
The next day. Right. So they didn't let them leave.
So she didn't know where he was, and he didn't know where she was. They put him in a hotel room through domestic violence, I think, advocacy.
Right. Some like they had a resource or some type of thing where, you know, they had some room where he can go for the night where they send domestic violence victims. So they were separated after the fact. So we sitting there and we looking at this whole thing and we saying, okay, this is before everything started to blow up again. Okay, so now they separated now, and we sitting there saying, I said, well, so he's gonna go to a hotel. She's gonna go where?
She was in her van. See, they at the end of that
part to me.
At the
what
end,
what the hell did she do? Where did she go?
Well, at the end of the police video, they gave her the keys to her van for her to get back in the van. And they took the young man and put him in the back of the police car.
Right. They took him to the hotel. So now, okay, here's your car. I mean, here's your van. Here's the keys.
Yeah. And she was asking the officer, where are you taking him? And the officer was telling her at the end of it, we can't tell you what hotel we're taking him to. Of course not. But this is the area, you know, that we're going to be in. So that way, you know, or whatever. So
here is my question, which there's so much more that went on, ladies and gentlemen, after the fact. But one of the things that I was asking, I was saying, so where is she staying for the night? in her van?
In her van, obviously.
Okay. She's gonna sleep in the van.
That's where she spend the night at, in her van. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm
maybe
sure
she got a hotel room, but then again, she just stayed, in her van, just for comfort. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I get it.
He was in one place, she was in another.
A week later, officials reported, and then so now
we get down to this was around the 16th or the 17th of August, and now we're moving along down to the 20th.
But I don't think we was at the 16th and 17th yet. On September 11th, she was reported missing.
Yeah, but on the 26th.
Well, let's just deal with that.
Okay. Well,
so Gabby's officially, after all that we talked about, she's officially reported missing on Saturday, September 11th, where, the moms reported this, that it was a little white van. And then also after that, of course, they came over, they impounded it, the vehicle and all that kind of stuff, forensic examinations.
You just the whole major part of it.
We can't beat the horse too much. Let's get to it. I don't want to just, because then if a lot of people, I'm sure there are people who know exactly what's going on, but for a lot of those who don't know, it's just going to sound like a lot. So I want to kind of go through where they reported her missing after everything that we talked about, which was September 11th, 2021. And that was not by Brian. It was from her mother, who made the report, that a little white van and all that kind of stuff. And the van got impounded. The police forensic examination came out the same day. And then a week later, Friday, September 17th, after not communicating with police, the Laundrie family calls upon the local police to visit their home and all kind of stuff. Now, where do you want to go next?
Well, where I want to go is, on the 27th, actually the 27th of September. And all of this stuff is kind of new information, since we got witnesses who's actually came forward since the FBI and the police got involved with her being missing as of September the 11th. However, what's his name? Brian Laundrie, which is her fiance at the time. So he ended up traveling back to Florida without her. And when he traveled back to Florida and he made it home, which was on September the 1st, he had been around and about, in Florida, whatever, without her.
I'm September the 1st. You said September
right, September the 1st. Okay. So I'm still trying to figure out, how did the parents get made aware that, he was back in town? I still have yet to find that clue for that.
His parents?
Her parents. How did her parents know that he was back in town? Well, I need to find that out.
That's a good question.
I really want to know the answer to that.
It's so many questions to ask here, because this story is kind of surreal. It's almost like it's real and it's not. It's like we're gonna wake up one day and find out that everybody has been pranked. It's not a funny issue, especially for the family. However, it's just so many holes, there's so many weird things that's happening. And September 1st, that is a good question to ask. How did they find out? One of the things that I said was, the streets are talking. The vehicle shows back up. People are saying, hey, I seen Brian in the vehicle.
Yeah, in the
vehicle.
Did we mention that the vehicle is hers? It's registered in her name.
So if that's the neighborhood.
So she was left.
I mean, it's just like, think about it. You in your neighborhood and somebody see your car. They can be on a different block, but they know that's your car. Hey, Gabby and them is back.
Well, that's a possibility, or a way that the mom could have found out or whatever. But then, of course, we find more information out as we get further along into finding out intricate details and what was being told to the police and to the FBI or whatever regarding this whole issue. But so he returned back to Florida without Gabby.
Right.
And this was on September the 1st. And of course, Gabby's parents began looking for her around her stepfather actually went to the Laundrie's house on September the 10th, trying to get answers for
like
for Gabby,
what's going on? Where is she?
Where is she?
Let's just do this, because now word is out that they're back, because they've been looking for her.
No, he's back.
He's back.
She's not back with him.
Right. So that's the word that's out. Hey,
Right.
or it could just be a
Where's
general
Gabby?
word. Oh, so he's back. You seen him? You didn't see her? No, we didn't see her. We just saw him driving around or driving through.
Don't know.
Okay, weird.
That's
so
why
now they want to reach
how
out.
Did they
how
find
did they find
out?
And I think, it's like a movie, where something happens, but they don't show you the details. You're like, okay, it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We get it.
How did they find out that she wasn't with him when he came back?
Drop a comment below in the comment section right now and let us know what you guys think on how is it that they found that. I believe that that's the reason, that someone seen the van, and they're locals in the area. So, there's a local couple that people see every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a reason. It makes sense. We seen the van, and he's back, but we didn't see Gabby.
Right.
And the family found out, and now they're asking questions.
Right.
So let the games begin. Go ahead.
So here we go. So I'm gonna skip on down. Edwina said, so how did he get home? He drove her van back to Florida. And that drive is about 35 hours from what is the name of that?
Well, let's pull up the timeline. Timeline.
No, the name of that area, the Great Telon.
We got time. Let me pull it up real quick.
The Great Telon
National
Park or something
like that.
National
Park, because Salt Lake City was one of the areas they were in.
I'm talking about the last area that they were in Wyoming. So it takes about 35 hours from that park that they found her body in to Florida to get there. And I'm saying this because I've been trying to piece together how long what day she could have possibly been taken away from this earth.
Right. Also, a lot of folk out there saying this is a publicity stunt. Now, death is not a publicity stunt.
Absolutely not.
So we can just kill that right there on the theories and all that kind of stuff. Go ahead. So we're talking about how they found out. Let's move on from the area of how they found out.
And I want to say, Mike said they hadn't heard from her in weeks. Mm-hmm. And then said, did they get a text from her, or was it really from her? That happened too. However,
well, let's deal with that. Because Edwina is just coming up in the building. Peace and love to Edwina, who came up in here a little after the show started. But as far as the text message, no. The text didn't come from her.
You don't know that.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I want to take her back to the first text that she got from her mom. That is important. You're missing that whole part.
That's fine. Let's deal with that text, because she's asking a question. Did the text come from her? And I'm going to say no. And I'll tell you my reason why. And I think we got to get to that point. So let's talk about the text.
Well, actually, let's talk about the last time she spoke with her mom. Last time she spoke with her mom was on the 27th, according to an affidavit that was given to the FBI and the police.
Right.
So she spoke to her mom on the 27th, and on the 27th, it was a young lady her and her family were vlogging, and they just so happened to be in that area, driving down that path through that park or that forest area, and they actually caught a glimpse of the van on their recording.
Now, hold on. Let's say the 27th. Now, is that
this was on the 27th?
The 27th. Is that the young lady? Hang on for a second. Is that the young lady because it's two women. It's an older woman and it's a younger woman.
Yes.
By the name of Miranda Baker.
Yes.
Who encountered the couple.
Right. Right. Miranda is the one who
encountered them. And that was on the 27th. We have a clip. Let's play the clip real quick of Miranda encounter.
Wait a minute. Is Miranda the young one?
I'm not sure.
Because if Miranda is the young one, she was the one who had the encounter with him, where he was hitchhiking and her and whoever she was with picked him up.
Right. This is the young
I'm
girl.
not talking about that one.
Okay,
I'm
you're talking about the other one.
The other lady.
Which is the older woman.
Yeah, the older
who said
lady.
that they accidentally saw the van. Are you talking about that?
Right. It was by pure coincidence, accident, or whatever. They seen the van on that very day, which was the last day she talked to her mom, which was on the 27th. And then in the affidavit, it said that the young lady was not, her mom and them, they were not able to get back in touch with her on that same day. After they talked to her, they couldn't get back in touch with her, and she had told them exactly where she was at in that forest. So
should we play the clip?
Yeah, let's play the clip.
All right. And this clip is spotted.
They spotted Gabby's van.
Okay, let's play the clip.
So go ahead and tell me, I mean, I know it's been a long couple of days, but talk about this trip that you've been on and how you just came across this footage of Gabby and Brian's van.
Yeah, I mean, we live full time in our bus, so we travel the country full time, and we had just ended up needing a place to camp for the night and happened upon the Spread Creek camping area. And when we pulled in, we've got double GoPros. So we have one that faces front and one that faces my husband while he's driving. And as we're going in, he talked a little bit and totally forgot to shut the GoPros off. And the GoPros just keep rolling. And we passed by their van, or a white van. And the white van had Florida plates. And we were excited because, like, we're Florida, hometown Tampa Bay. And so we wanted to stop and talk to them. But the van was dark. It was all closed up. It really didn't look like anyone was there or somebody was sleeping. And so we just kept on going. It was very, very busy in there. So we just turned around, came back, and then went up to the front gravel lot to park because we couldn't find anywhere else.
So how do you I know that you're a vlogger as well. So you're going through all your footage. When is it that you really learned about the search for Gabby? I'm sure last week when all of us did. But when was it kind of that aha moment?
Yeah, I mean, we had heard about it, but the timeline just didn't add up, the original timeline, to when we were in the Tetons for one night. And
keep going from there if you don't mind.
Yeah, the timeline just did not add up. And so we didn't think twice about it. And then Saturday evening, I was editing our Sunday video that was coming out the next day, and I just needed to take a break. So I went and got my phone, and as soon as I got my phone, I got a notification that says I was tagged in a story. And the story was saying that if you were in the Tetons on August 27th, to please look through anything that you have, think back to that. And she was like, Jen, I think you were there. And we were. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm editing the August 27th footage right now. And I ran to the computer, pulled out my footage, scrolled through it, and lo and behold, Gabby's van was recorded in there by a complete accident.
How did you even feel at that moment when you saw that van, knowing that you have possibly, well, now we know the piece of evidence that was really needed?
I was just in that moment, like, relief just washed over me, because I could give this to their parents, to Gabby's parents, and say, hey, here's the van, go do whatever you need to do. Like, I was just so happy that we caught that on camera and were able to give that to them.
You very much, I mean, Gabby, I'm not sure if she ever saw your stuff, but she was trying to follow a lifestyle that you and your family are living. This case is not ending the way that any of us wanted it to, but just knowing that you're able to give the family at least closure and possibly some information for whatever is going to develop over the next couple of days. I mean, it almost feels like you were meant to be there at that point in time. Your camera was meant to be rolling.
There was so many things that were just coincidence that lined up for it to be kismet, I guess. And we were just at the right place at the right time. And so thankful that we were able to capture that.
That area, I'm down here in Sarasota right now from Tampa. How would you even describe that area to people that aren't from that area, that don't know those national parks, have only lived in Florida or different towns their whole entire life?
It is a very desolate area. Cell phone service was not good. We barely got any signal while we were there personally. And it's very dense. Like, there's a lot of bushes, there's a lot of trees. All of the off-grid, like, camping sites are tucked away behind different trees and bushes and stuff. So you're very separated from everybody else and kind of secluded, even though, like, it was very packed.
So with the footage, did you call the FBI right away? Or I'm not sure how much you can actually go into some of the stuff with the investigation, but what did you do immediately when you saw that and kind of heard about this?
We found the footage at like about 12:05 in the morning, and coincidentally, it was Ethan's birthday when we found the footage. And we called the FBI at 12:08. I had to look up their number, called them. I was shaking. Like, I was like, listen, I have found the van. You have to do something. Like, I need to talk to somebody. Like, I knew it was her van. And they were like, well, we're going to direct you over to our website where all the tips go. And you just upload your video there. And if they need any more information, they'll call you. I haven't received anything. We've been kind of inundated with phone calls and all the things. But I keep checking back, and I'm definitely available and will cooperate fully with them.
Okay, and then I know you have others to go to, but just talk about Ethan a little bit. Tell me about this journey that you are on, especially for your son and your family.
Yeah, we lost Ethan back in September of 2011 in a car accident. We were on our way to Disney.
All right, so
his 7th birthday.
That's the woman, and so let's just unpack this a little bit, because again, for people who are coming on a little bit late, it may sound like, what is going on, right? And I do get that. That's why I want to kind of take your time with it, with this. Before we play this clip, one of the questions that was asked in the building is, didn't she get a text message? And I said that the text message, I believe that the mother, because she said this herself, that she got this text message and she knew, she also told the officials that she knew that this text message wasn't from her daughter. Now, I know for a fact how is it that she knew this? Simply because they've been reaching out to her for days now. At this point, they've been trying to contact her. They've probably been texting her. A lot of people said, it wasn't unusual for them to go off the grid for days and then get back in contact. But something happened to where they wanted to get in contact with her. And it was constantly reaching out to her at this moment. And the response were, Stan, can you help Stan? And the mother said that Gabby never addressed her grandfather, I believe, as Stan, which makes complete sense. Because if you call your moms or you call your brother a specific name, and you happen to turn, and by the way, the phone was off for some time because they're trying to contact her, they're calling her, they're text messaging her, whatever the case may be, and there's no response. Also, they were saying that the phone was non-reachable. So, you can have two feelings about this. Okay, they're out of service, or they are out of a place where there's a good connection. So there's a possibility that's going on. So now when the phone comes back online, the natural thing would be, oh man, I missed 20 calls. I missed 15 text messages. Naturally, what you do is you pick up the phone and call your moms, your dad, somebody that you're close with, your brother, your wife, anybody that you're close with. If they called you that many times, you're probably not going to respond to them in a text message. And then also for them, for the response, the only response after all these attempts to get in touch with you is with a name that you never use, that raised red flags, in my opinion. So mom's was dead on. she knew for sure. Oh, no. Something is not right. This is not my daughter. You want to elaborate on that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So now, I think that was one of the questions that was asked. Now, also, we got into the area of this video.
Well, actually, let's just go to the next thing that was actually said, or the next video that was brought about, which was
Well, this is the clip that we pulled up. Now, we brought that in highlights of what was said about how did the mother know that that wasn't her daughter. Where is the connection between the clip with this lady in that text?
Okay, so my thing is after we have this young lady saying that she seen the van, now we have another person who was another witness who have actually came to the scene, which they're saying that they can't completely verify what she's saying, but she says that she picked what's his name?
Brian.
Okay, so she's saying that she picked Brian up in another little town, maybe about
another town.
Like it was about 3 hours from that, because I went and I forget the name of the town. It's about 3 hours from where that forest is, about 3 hours and 18 minutes. I went and I did like a Google map on it to see how long it would take for him to get from where he was to where she is. But anyways, so she had came on the scene and she said that she picked him up in her vehicle and he hitchhiked a ride. And I think she took him about 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes down the street, if he even stayed in the car that long. And then he got out of the car. Yeah, Mike, we're going to get back to that.
Right. And also, so, right. So what Edwina was asking, she actually got to that now. She's saying, yes, I agree, because you know your child. Also, Mike said she called her granddad by his real name, not granddad. And she had never done that, which was very key. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So now, so this is really what broke everything open as far as the mother saying, something is not right. Something is not right. Something is wrong with my daughter. We need to find out what it is. And so now they go out and send this report out. Right. And I guess that's when the missing report goes out. Am I correct on that? Or did this already happen? Or this is something after?
Well, I was trying to take you down a timeline, but you throwing me off.
Well, it's again, we're no experts on it. We're just getting the story as it come out. So sometimes it may seem, you may have something that I'm, maybe putting a cart before the horse, and vice versa for me. And then sometime we'll get back into sequence on on actually what's really happening here. So we're just going down the line. That's why I said we're gonna take our time. We're not in no rush. 347-595-0279. Main office, your boy Sean G, the beautiful Judea. All right, peace and love to the newcomers up in here. I hope you guys go ahead and add the Sean G channel. Catch us every Tuesday night and Thursday night live right here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and all that good stuff. So again, so we have that. We have somewhat of the timeline, somewhat of the areas. Friday, September 7th, after not communicating, now we know that Brian Laundrie is pretty much, we wouldn't say on the run, because that's not what they're saying. They're saying that he's a person of interest. Now, let's deal with the area of him leaving her out there by herself. Let's deal with that area.
So my thing is okay, so he hitchhiked a ride. So he leaves the Grand, what is it called? T-Tron? Yeah, the Grand.
Pull it up.
Shoot.
Take your time. Let's pull it up.
Okay.
We're not in a rush. And by the way, it is 10:37. Do you know where your children are? It is the main office. Peace and love to Kevin in the building. He said that nigga's on the run. Let's play a little bit of marshmallow music.
I'm almost there.
Take your time. And as your boy worked the boards in the building tonight, this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. And we got some new music.
Grand Teton National Park.
Okay.
So
let's get into it.
Yeah. So all right. So the young lady that picked him up, she was I don't know who she was with or whatever, but she says that, they picked him up from
well, this is the young lady Miranda Baker, who encountered Brian.
Right.
Right. She was the young lady who was along that park line, who was saying that he don't know the difference between south and north or something like that. She picked him up. He was hitchhiking a ride.
Right.
So she picked him up.
Yeah, she picked him up in Coulter Bay, Wyoming, which is about 3 hours and 41 minutes walking.
Right.
From Grand Teton National Park. But if you're driving, it's only 17 minutes. So she picked him up in Coulter Bay. And when she picked him up, he was in the car for a few minutes with her and whoever she was with in her vehicle. And he asked them if he can get a ride or whatever. And she was telling him that she was going towards the Jackson Dam. Right. And she said that he seemed a little agitated, which we do have the clip on that.
Right.
And he ended up getting out. And
because once he heard Jackson Dam, he was like, oh, damn, let me get out this car.
Right.
Because apparently that was somewhere close to where they originally came from.
That's where they were going.
Okay.
But I don't know if he knows where that was.
He didn't know. And
I don't know.
The Miranda Baker young lady mentioned that he didn't know the difference between north, south, or west.
Yeah. So he gets out. And after he gets out, she said about 10 to 15 seconds, they look back and he was gone. He told them that he was going to be crossing the street and asking somebody else for a ride or whatever. Now, I just want you guys to keep in mind that Gabby is obviously still at Grand Teton.
Right. Now, which blew our minds because all of this is going on.
So this was on
hold on.
She
for
last
1 second.
talked to her mom on the 27th.
Well, hang on for 27th, right? Hang on 1 second. And when he got in the vehicle, he told the young lady Miranda Baker that, hey, I need a ride over here. And he said, well, I guess a little small talk went on. He said, well, I'm trying to get here, but my girlfriend or my fiance is over there.
Well, no, he was telling her that he was camping by himself. And the fiance
was working on a blog.
Right. Well, he had been camping for a few days by himself.
Right.
And the fiance was she was camping and working on the vlog upload.
Right. Work on her content for her own stuff.
And that just kind of struck and rubbed me the wrong way, but we'll get back to that.
Well, here's the question I want to ask you in the building tonight. 347-595-0279. When this was all taking place, do you guys, for those of you out there who has been following this story, do you believe at this point when he gets with Miranda Baker, the woman who encountered him and he hitchhiked a ride with, do you believe at this particular time, because at this time, this is where I really start to feel like this guy's a stone cold liar. And at this point, is she dead at this point? Which was my original question. Because after everything is going on, I feel like now, she's out of here. After the fact. And, is he just trying to find a way to get further and further away? So for those of you out there who do understand what's going on with the story, what are your thoughts when he encounters the Miranda lady, do you believe at this point she's dead? Go ahead.
Well, the time that she last talked to her mom was on the 27th.
Yes.
The time that the first witness seen that van was on the 27th. And then on the 29th is when he ran into Miranda Baker.
Okay. And
right.
Shout out to Edwina and said, yeah, she was gone by that time.
So he ran into Miranda Baker on the 29th.
The 29th.
Okay, so that gave him
2 days later.
Right, 2 days.
Okay.
So, and he had told Miranda that he was camping by himself for a couple of multiple days, and his fiance was somewhere else camping and getting the vlog or whatever ready for for social media. Okay, so this made me think, like, if the fiance is somewhere else and you're telling this lady that you've been camping by yourself, she's not with you, how the heck did you get to
did you get 17 minutes away?
How did you get to Coulter Bay Village, which is a 3-hour and 41-minute walk, because you were not in that van?
Well, it was
that van was still
right, but it was 2 days.
It was 2 days.
And you did say that it takes 3 hours walking. So 27th, 29th. We're talking, 2 days.
Yeah.
So there's a strong possibility that he did walk.
Yeah,
because he didn't drive the vehicle.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. He walked. He didn't drive that vehicle. Obviously, he left the vehicle out there where she was.
Right.
Because the lady said that the witness who he hitchhiked a ride with, she was like, well, he seemed kind of antsy. He was
he was rushing.
He was in a rush, or whatever. And he gets out, and then 10 or 15 minutes later, he's gone. So I began to think about that, and I'm like, wow. If that be the case, then between the 27th, when her mom said that she last actually heard from her, to the 29th, this young lady could have been, taken away from this earth.
Right. And let's go back to the conversation.
But then I had to think, think about it, because what if he did leave her and left her with the van? She was scared to leave. And then he found that ride, he hitchhiked that ride. And then he had to go back to, when he got out, and let's say he just went back to the campsite. Let's say they got into it or whatever. And then, okay, at that point he killed her. We don't know. So something happened between the 27th and the 29th.
Well, this is the part for me that I feel like, okay, now once everything starts to unravel and stories are coming out and the different sides are starting to take, this is the place where I start to feel like this guy is up to something. Let's go back to the comment section real quick. Edwina said, this part makes no sense. None of this makes sense. And trust me, we understand how you feel. She also said that she know that at that point she was dead. Yes, she is deceased. And also, do you believe Miranda Baker's story? That's a very good question. Better question. If you were Miranda, would you have picked him up? That's a very good question.
Well, there are some good people in the world who.
It's almost like the David Banner.
Who.
We're showing our age here now. Incredible Hulk. He's standing on the road.
Who actually have good intentions and who try to do right by people or whatever,
Right.
So there are still some good people out there. Unfortunately, there are bad ones too.
Yeah. Would I have picked him up? No. Me personally, no. But I get where Edwina is coming from in regards to, do you believe this story? It is a convenience. And let me break that down for you, because that was an area where I questioned. And also, I think you said that you said something in the area of, maybe they knew something. And I was like, well, no.
Maybe who knew something?
The Miranda girl, the ones who picked them up. The
No,
hitchhiker.
I
Was
never
that the same people?
No, I never
was
said
the
that
same
I
people.
didn't think
Okay.
that they knew anything. They you know, their statement
Because
to
they were the one who actually put us. They was the actual ones who put out a video
no, she
saying that they
wasn't.
seen him.
Yeah, they put out the video saying that she
Right.
seen him or whatever. So yeah.
So were you saying that maybe they knew something? Did you?
No, I
Okay.
didn't say anything like that.
Well, I understand where Dwena's coming from when she asked that question. For me personally, I think that of course, do we trust them is the question. It's one of those things. But I can say yes, we can trust them, her, Miranda Baker, because again, I don't believe that she would actually put herself in a mix if she had anything to do with it. In my opinion. So I think that was a kind of a natural occurrence where she picked him up and drove him somewhere. That is very possible.
Well, yeah, now I remember what you're talking about. So yeah, I mean, it did kind of cross my mind because, you got these people who, but then I thought about it again. So I'm not even going to say it because they picked him up in, what's the name of this place? Coulter Bay Village.
Mhm.
They didn't pick him up in the the Grand Telon.
These names is crazy.
the forest. They didn't pick him up in the forest.
Right.
So my thoughts on that, just
I
watch that.
Yeah, and again, I get it because when you said that, I was saying, well, you're not gonna call if you're someone oppressing someone, you got someone down, hitting somewhere, you're not gonna call their savior to come and help them.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was kind of something that I ruled out immediately. Like, no, that I don't think that. I think this was just an occurrence. She actually did run into this guy, and of course, after the fact, the story blew up, and all eyeballs were on him and the picture and all that kind of stuff. So I think it made sense for her to come out and let it be known.
I think that after he got out of that van, whatever vehicle he was in with her, I think he went back over to that forest and picked that van up.
Yeah, so
I really think he went back there and picked that van up and got her phone because that was on the 29th. And all of a sudden on the 30th, her mom gets a phone call. Well, gets a text message stating for her to check on Stan, which her mom says that she never, and that Stan is her grandfather, because he had been calling and she had been missing phone calls and text messages. And so her mom said it gave her mom an alert because her mom says she never calls her grandfather by Stan.
Right. And that's an easy giveaway. That's a dead giveaway.
And then also in the message, one of the messages, I don't know if that one was on the 27th or if that one was on the 30th. No, actually on the 29th or somewhere up in there. I don't know which one it was, the 27th or the 30th, where he's, as a matter of fact, it was on the 30th. He was saying that they didn't have any services in Yosemite.
Right.
There was no service. So I had to go, I went and did my due diligence. I had to check to see how far Yosemite was from
Yellowstone.
Yeah, no.
Not Yellowstone, from
Grand hold on, let me go get from Grand Teton National Park. So I had to find out how far the distance was between those two places. And when I found out how far that was, it's a 12 to 14 hour drive from
Yosemite
to that forest that they found her body in, right? So I began to think about, now it's time for him to get back. And now it's time for him to travel. We got the 30th is when he said, or not him, I'm sorry, is when the mother got the message saying that they didn't have any service in Yosemite. But then on September the 1st, he shows up in Florida without her. Now, mind you, between Yosemite and Florida, it's a 41-hour drive.
2-day drive
from Grand Tetron, Teton, Grand Teton. It's a 35-hour drive to Florida.
Right.
So approximately
2 days, both ways you look at it.
Max.
Right.
So I'm looking at, there's no possible way she could have even been in Yosemite on the 30th when the mother got the message, because it took 2 days for him to drive that van to Florida. And if he would have did that, then that would have been 3 days.
Mike's saying 50 hours away,
exactly,
which is even further.
Which is even further, probably, because you got to add the 14 hours to Yosemite from Tetron.
Tetron. And peace and love to Mike. We also got another Mike on here, Bezio, who said it's a homicide. FBI said that. And,
yeah, they did say it was a homicide.
He's so likely to be the one who did it.
Right.
Now, here's the question we want to ask in the building family. It is early, and I don't want to jump out the building or jump out the window saying, all roads are leading to this Brian guy. But I mean, what are your thoughts on exactly what happened as far as Gabby? Did he go back? Because we do know that he left, and we do know that he came back. Mm-hmm. The 2 day period from the 27th to the 29th, I believe that she was dead on the 27th.
Somewhere along the lines of the 27th or the 28th. And that's why I say it could have been the 29th when, he got picked up and he was so in a rush to get back. So in a rush to get out of that vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
he could have went back
29th.
over there and did what he had to do, and then haul behind in the van. Anywhere between the 27th and the 29th, I believe this young lady was probably taken away from us.
Now, here's the thing that I asked, and I found it very hard. I felt like, there's a possibility that he ran into some other folks. Some other people was involved in this.
That's a whole different type of scenario, which I almost agreed with you.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm saying to myself, well, okay, all right, he was jealous, he was this, he was that. You can't put nothing past anyone. But man, he went from a 0 to 100 real quick. And my thing is, and my question I want to ask the family in the building tonight is, do you guys feel like, because we can't pin this on him right now, I'm not going to do that.
I can't pin it on him.
It's too early to tell. All roads lead into this to him.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say this.
He just got too much baggage right now, and it's not looking good.
It's not looking good, but I will say this. Man, do you guys feel like he had this on his mind already? If he did do this, was this something that he was thinking about doing ahead of time? Because I just don't understand how you go from a couple arguments, maybe this was going on for a while, maybe it just kept continuing, maybe he snapped, whatever the case may be. But the worst thing is, okay, you leave her and just leave her on her own, and that's that. That's to me, look, you got me involved with these people. This is the perfect, I'm getting the hell out of here. You do what you want to do. It is what it is. That's the worst case scenario. Oh, how dare you leave all right. As bad as that may sound. But you go from that to coming back and killing the girl. That's a whole nother ball game.
I don't know what we don't know what happened between the 27th and the 30th, because he was back in Florida on the 1st, so it obviously took 2 days. So between the 27th and the 30th, we don't know what happened. We do know she was alive on the 27th,
mm-hmm.
but her mom's put in the affidavit that after that she said a call. She said after that call she wasn't able to reach her. After that, following that, she wasn't able to reach her.
Mhm.
So,
And again, like I said, guys, for me, I'm just logically thinking here. What take you from one thing to the extreme overnight? Peace and love to Edwina, who said, I agree. That's what I said. He must have had some kind of help. Um, believe me, he had help. I think he did. And I'm feeling like there's some other, we may find out down the line that there's some other people involved. We may be wrong. But I just don't see.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think that it was other people involved the way that the FBI and the officers found her body just laying out in the opening. She was just laid out in the field in the open. They didn't try to bury her. If it was more than one person, then they would have been digging that hole trying to bury her.
Well, not
or something possibly.
Not
but she was just left out in the opening.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. Very possible. There's a strong possibility. Can't disagree there.
Maybe he couldn't stand the smell. Maybe he couldn't stand to look at her. Whatever. He just had to hurry up and go.
Well,
I'm thinking about.
Here's what could have happened. And again, all of this is speculation. We don't know. With the help, if that was the case, the help, it happened, it took place. And then when he came back, it was too much for him to deal with.
Right.
He couldn't do anything if there was some help there. You know what I mean? The reality kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Yo, I didn't,
and it makes you question why he went back to Florida and lawyered up immediately
when he got back.
Getting back. So it's like, why would you go straight to get a lawyer? Like, after all of this, after we find out more of the details of everything, why would you go home without her in her vehicle that's registered in her name and get an attorney, and then your family, nobody wants to talk to law enforcement, and then a couple of days in, I guess, of the search or whatever, his sister, she gets on there and she seems, she tries to show some type of concern, but still not saying anything. So it just really questions everything. Your motive, what was and then now, I mean, you're not, we can't find you.
Right.
You're lost. You're missing. Or you've disappeared.
You disappeared. And here's what we do, family. True or false? He left her on some highway somewhere and drove back to Florida. We know that is true.
He left her on some highway. No, he left her in the forest.
Well, here's a theory there. He left her somewhere and then drove back to Florida, had a change of heart, and has gone back to get her. What do you guys think happened there? Because we know he left and we know he came back. A lot of people are saying in the room right now, they believe that he had some help. Also, let's go back to the comment section real quick. Peace and love to Kasha back in the building. She said there has to be a cell phone tower near there that can ping his location to the closest hotspot. Absolutely correct.
Waiting on that. That's very important. I'm waiting to hear what they have to say about where that ping was, where she reached out to her mom from her cell phone, And where was she at?
That's going to show up
on both of those days, on the 27th and on the 30th.
The 30th, okay.
When her mom got that other message.
Mm-hmm. And we believe that that's something that's going to come up in the future days here. Also, let's go back to the comment section. Mike said there was a lover triangle type thing going on here. Involving the Moon Shadow Girl. This was the two girls who were killed in Salt Lake City. I believe days later they turned up dead. She freaked out and threatens to turn themselves in. He shoots her as he did them. Hopefully he uses the same gun to kill himself.
Well,
so they can follow. Hang on, let me finish reading. Follow the ballistics and have some type of closure for all.
Well, I was reading on that too, and the officers in that area stated that this incident had nothing to do with what happened with that couple.
But that was a question that was out there. Peace and love to Whitney.
It was a question, and that was something I'm like, what? Yeah. In the same area? around the same time.
Mm-hmm. Peace and love to Whitney. Kate Turner Baker, thank you for tuning in. She also said it also have been proven that there were no connections between those murders.
Right. That's and yeah,
So
she's on it. So
yep.
yeah, that's what I was looking at with that.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the main office. It is late Tuesday night. It's 11:03 p.m. on the East Coast. And do you know where your children are? It's one of the questions we want to ask in the building tonight. It is the main office, the beautiful Judea.
Hello.
And I am Sean G. And check us out this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. We'll be talking about something we may have to go on as this story develops in the later of the week. And I think you guys are going to be strapped and looking forward to hearing the developments and have some more information that you're going to come with as we come back in the building Thursday night to revisit this topic and this story. Sad situation, to say the least. Condolences will go out to the family and of Gabby Petito. I'm sure they are feeling crazy right now, and it's a very, very nightmarish situation here. You know, you wake up and it was all good just maybe a month ago, and it blew my mind to know that it's been so long. I mean, these stories are developing, now, but it's been a while since the young lady was out there in those rural, wooded areas by herself. And that's the scary part. That's the wow factor here. And the unfortunate thing to me, it breaks my heart just to think about, how long she was out there by herself. And why would anyone do this to her? This young lady did not deserve this at all. And so, as we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, it is the main office Tuesday night. If you're just coming around here for the first time, go ahead and smash that love button. And don't forget to add the Sean G channel. Go ahead and hit that follow button and check us out. All right? We guaranteed to bring something to the table that we sure that you can take and touch and agree on and all that good stuff. All right. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. We'll take a quick break and be back in about 2.30 seconds as we cruise on to the night before we wrap up and touch into some more areas. And one of the questions we asked in the building tonight, would Anita Baker versus Sade be a great versus? Jesus is Lord. I think that'll be a magnificent versus. What do you got thoughts on that? All right. And when we come back, we'll read a bunch of your comments in the comment section. And all that good stuff. So, name of the song we're about to play next is King Sis. All right. I think we'd have had King Sis up here. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to a different song.
Mike's, hold on before you go. Mike said this is his first time hanging with us, and he said he really enjoyed it. Thank you, Mike. We enjoy having you. You have been very interactive with us, and we really appreciate it. You have gave us some insights on some things too, and we really, really, really appreciate you coming forward with your information. And also Miss Whitney K. Turner Baker, you too. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Yes, absolutely, Whitney, and also Mike has been really. Mike has been here really heavy tonight. Really, really going down the line and very familiar with this story. We was a little afraid that a lot of people, and we know the world is really watching this, but there's so many people who do not know what's going on with this story. So we was kind of, maybe we'll just keep this a YouTube thing and stay over there, but let's bring it to the Facebook world and, some of our folk and bring them up to speed on what we think is going on. So we do appreciate you, Mike, as well as Whitney. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you guys. I hope you come back Thursday night or any time that you're available.
Yeah.
All right. Name of the song is called Freedom by an artist called Terran Hector. I think you might like this. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Check this out.
They say love don't cost a thing. There's hearts for cards, but cash is king. Fancy cars and diamond rings. I won't get caught in all that greed. So come and take a walk in peace. There's all the freedom you need. And go spread your love for the people's greater needs. Take a walk in peace and hear what I'm saying now. The world is obsessed with material things. It's time to throw away your selfish needs. Let's let your words agree with how your actions speak. I'm here to talk, not trying to preach. So come and take a walk in peace. There's all the freedom you need. Go spread your love for the people's greater needs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't let yourself get lost in all that greed. Oh, no.
Yep. Okay. Freedom by your boy at the Tavern Actor. All right. Well, sound all right. Peace and love to I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun in here, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight, enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Also, shout out to Whitney. Peace and love to Mike. Also, Mike over there on YouTube.
And all of the main office family as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Peace and love to Kasha.
Kasha's, yeah.
All right. Shout out
Edwina,
to
Renee, George, Gerline. Who else was
By the way,
here?
drop a comment below. We'd like to know where you guys are listening from tonight.
Oh, Lavon, my
Lavon.
girl. Mary Coty. She was in here.
Mary as well. Peace and love to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just so many
Kevin
of you.
Smith.
Kevin.
We didn't call out. Shout out Kevin. He left and came back. He let us know he was back in the building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you know, if you guys if we miss your name, we do apologize.
Yeah.
But also shout out to
our YouTube viewers as well.
Peace and love to the YouTube viewers over there.
Yes.
Who was tuned in, who said their piece on what they feel and what they think. Peace and love to Latia, who was in the building tonight.
Yes, Latia, yes.
All right. Shout out to Alexander Lawrence. He just said straight up, Brian is a murderer. Jameson, the defense attorney, peace and love to you, who was in the building tonight on the YouTube side. And Renee. And each and every one of you guys. We thank everybody for tuning in.
Yes.
All right. Now listen, family, we'll see you guys Thursday night right here on the Sean G channel, 8:30 p.m. And I'm sure there's going to be some developments in this particular story. And we'll have to come right back at it again. But I hope that we covered a lot of this here. We know now that there's really no theories that we can really entertain here, because we know that, she was found and the stuff came back that it is her, and they did rule it as a homicide. So facts are on the table. Facts are definitely on the table. Now the question is, who did this? Who did this?
Yep.
And we want to get to the bottom of this.
Yep.
I think the American people, I think people across the board want to find out who did this and why.
Mm-hmm. It's such a sad story, and it actually hurts because this can happen to anyone, and you got to be extremely careful out there. I know it's a trend now. A lot of people want to do vlogs and and go and experience life and travel, and just everyone needs to just be very, very careful and make sure who you're with and what or who you're with, what they are capable of doing when you are away from friends and family and people who care about you.
Yeah.
I know you can't, just know what's going on in a person's mind, but at least be extremely careful. Listen at everything carefully. Listen to and look for the signs that you need to look for to get out if you need to safely.
Well, the saying goes, it's easier said than done.
It is.
I just feel bad. I feel bad for
that young lady, 22 years old, and then the family. That's
and like someone said in the building tonight is, right now people just want closure. The family want closure. They want to know what happened and why.
They're grieving right now, and I feel really bad.
Sure, and it's bad, man. It's so bad. It make you look at the world a different way. As I was looking at some of the things, and you were just saying, man, this world is just crap. It's just crap.
Yes, our sister Whitney, we do love the Lord Jesus Christ. He is our Savior. We do love him, sister.
Oh yeah, Jesus is Lord.
And the world is so messed up. We actually talk about things like that, here on the show, and the things that are going on in the world. Mm-hmm. It's just right now we're living in very dark times, and it's getting darker by the day. And so I'm really happy that you are a person of interest when it comes down to loving the Lord.
Well, I mean, just look at it like this. God says, my sheep hears my voice.
My sheep hears my voice. Yes.
Likewise, my sheep also know what not to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And definitely a man or a woman who fears the Lord. I mean, no one is perfect. Mm-hmm. We all have our shortcomings, but there's no way whatsoever that anyone would go this far, who has some decency, some integrity about himself or herself. No one is going to go this far. This is on a whole nother level, and that's the problem. All right. So with that being said, family, we're going to get up out of here tonight. Peace and love to everybody. Main office, your boy Sean G, the beautiful Jadea. And we see you guys Thursday night. All right. We'll leave you guys riding out with your girl King Sis.
Yes.
King Sis, give us a record.
Your eyes tell me that you don't wanna leave just yet. No, my eyes agree. It's almost like when we first met. Oh, I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel the same. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love, I can't fake it. When I'm with you, my legs go weak. Yeah. Can you hear it? I think my heart just skipped a beat. Yeah. This feeling is getting so strong. Love me till the morning, love me all night long. There's something special about you. You're the one that I want. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening. You know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time? Like our time was right now. Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me in the evening. You know what I want. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, babe. So come give me love. All of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening. You know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time? Like our time was right now. Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me in the evening. You know what I want.